When you walk into a Louis Vuitton store or sip a glass of Moet champagne, it feels like you're buying into timeless craftsmanship, a symbol of sophistication, a piece of history. That's what luxury brands want you to believe, that you're touching something pure, something elite, something untouchable. But here's the secret they don't want you to know. Behind almost every luxury brand is a billionaire family. Not visionary artists, not fashion geniuses, families, dynasties, powerhouses that quietly pull the strings, deciding what's trendy, what's expensive, and what luxury even means. These families don't just own handbags or perfumes, they own culture. They sit in boardrooms, moving billions like poker chips, while the world chases their logos as symbols of status. And they don't want you to know their names, because once you do, you realize luxury isn't about fashion, it's about control. Today, we're exposing the untold truth about 5 billionaire families who secretly own the world of luxury. Point 1. LVMH, Bernard Arnault's family dynasty. The biggest luxury empire in the world isn't a brand, it's a family business. Bernard Arnault, now one of the richest men alive with a net worth of over $200 billion, built LVMH into a global powerhouse. LVMH controls more than 75 luxury brands: Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, Bulgari, Hennessy, Sephora, Dom Perignon, and Tiffany & Company. Just about every luxury item you can think of probably traces back to Arnault. But here's what makes it fascinating. Arnault isn't running a company, he's building a dynasty. His 5 children each hold major roles inside LVMH, from Dior to Louis Vuitton, ensuring the family controls the empire for generations. This isn't just wealth, it's a monarchy of luxury. Arnault's strategy is simple but ruthless. Buy legacy brands, centralize power, and sell aspiration. It doesn't matter if a bag costs $200 to make. He'll price it at $5,000 because he knows people aren't buying leather. They're buying status. And here's the controversial part. People think they're expressing individuality when they wear Louis Vuitton or Dior. In reality, they're fueling one man's empire, one family's monopoly. Luxury has been rebranded as heritage, but really, it's Arnault family property. Point 2. Kering, the Pinault family powerhouse. When people rave about Gucci, Saint Laurent, or Balenciaga, they think of edgy designers and fashion shows. But the truth? These brands are all owned by Kering, the luxury conglomerate controlled by the Pinault family of France. François Pinault started as a timber trader. Today, his son François-Henri Pinault runs Kering, turning it into a rival empire to LVMH. Under their control, Gucci became a global powerhouse, Balenciaga became a pop culture obsession, and Saint Laurent stayed a rock and roll classic. But Kering's strategy is even more controversial than LVMH's. They rely on shock value. Balenciaga has run ads that sparked global outrage. Gucci has pushed boundaries with designs that critics call cultural appropriation. Yet every controversy generates headlines and sales. That's not coincidence. That's strategy. The Pinault family also controls Christie's, the world's most famous art auction house. This means they don't just profit from fashion. They profit from deciding what culture is worth. They sit at the intersection of art, luxury, and power, shaping taste for the world while building their dynasty. And the public? They rarely even hear the Pinault name. That's how they want it. The family empire hides behind the Gucci logo while it quietly expands into every corner of luxury. Point 3. The Wertheimer family, the hidden owners of Chanel. Everyone knows Chanel, the double C logo, the number, 5 perfume, the legacy of Coco Chanel herself. But what most people don't know is that Chanel isn't a public company. It's privately owned by the Wertheimer family. The Wertheimer brothers, Alain and Gerard, are notoriously secretive. They've never courted fame like Arnault or Pinault. They live in the shadows, controlling one of the most iconic brands in history from behind closed doors. Chanel makes billions in profit every year, and the Wertheimers' net worth is estimated at over $80 billion. The family strategy is simple: stay invisible. While Chanel dazzles on runways, the Wertheimers quietly collect profits. They avoid interviews, rarely appear in public, and keep everything about their empire hidden. To the public, Chanel is about Coco and Karl Lagerfeld. To insiders, it's about two billionaire brothers who control every thread. And here's the irony. Chanel markets itself as the essence of independence and empowerment, but in reality, it's controlled by one of the wealthiest, most secretive families on Earth. Point 4. The Agnelli family, Italy's luxury and power network. In Italy, the Agnelli family is royalty. They're best known for controlling Fiat Chrysler, now Stellantis, but their empire stretches far into luxury. Through their holding company, Exor, the Agnellis own Ferrari, Juventus Football Club, and The Economist magazine. That's cars, sports, media, and more, all under one family name. Ferrari is the crown jewel. The Agnellis turned it into the most recognizable luxury car brand in history. Owning a Ferrari isn't about driving. It's about being admitted into an elite global club. And every sale, every badge, every Formula One victory strengthens the Agnelli dynasty. But it goes deeper. The Agnellis have used their wealth to control not just brands, but Italian politics and culture. They've been compared to royalty, with generations of family members playing roles in government, industry, and society. In Italy, the Agnelli name isn't just business, it's identity. So while most people see a Ferrari speeding down the street, they don't realize they're looking at the product of a family empire that has shaped Italy for nearly a century. Point 5. The Reimann family, scandals behind the JAB luxury empire. Finally, let's talk about the Reimanns, the German family behind JAB Holding Company. Unlike Arnault or Pinault, they don't dominate fashion, but they own a massive share of the global luxury lifestyle market. Think Keurig, Krispy Kreme, Pret-a-Manger, Panera, Peet's Coffee. Yes, the everyday luxuries you indulge in trace back to them. The Reimann family is worth over $40 billion. But here's the part they don't want you to know. Their fortune has roots in Nazi-era Germany. Reports revealed that the family used forced labor during World War II, and only in recent years have they publicly acknowledged it. It's a scandal that puts their luxury empire in a much darker light. Today, JAB Holding quietly buys up lifestyle brands, creating a monopoly over the little luxuries people consume daily: coffee, pastries, quick meals. They may not own Louis Vuitton, but they own the things millions rely on for comfort, which makes them just as powerful. And just like the Wertheimers, the Reimanns keep a low profile. Most people drinking a cup of Pret coffee have no idea they're funding one of Germany's richest families. That's how they like it. Luxury without the spotlight. So, what's the untold truth about luxury brands? That behind every logo, every runway, every iconic product is a family dynasty. Quiet, powerful, and determined to stay in control for generations. Arnault's LVMH, Pinault's Kering, the Wertheimer's Chanel, the Agnellis' Ferrari, the Reimanns' JAB. Together, these families don't just sell luxury. They own culture itself. And here's the controversial reality. When you buy luxury, you're not buying independence or individuality. You're buying into dynasties that use psychology, scarcity, and secrecy to build empires. Luxury isn't about you, it's about them. Now let me ask you, do you still see luxury brands as symbols of style and freedom, or as proof that billionaire families quietly control what we desire?